Philippe Lacheau has long been known for his irreverent humor, outrageous jokes, and films that push the boundaries of what is considered politically correct. His universe is usually filled with crude punchlines, exaggerated situations, and a deliberately trashy tone that appeals to fans of bold comedy. So when he took on the challenge of bringing the iconic Marsupilami to the big screen, many wondered how such a wild filmmaker could adapt his style to a family-friendly adventure without losing his creative identity. Taking on Marsupilami meant stepping into a beloved universe deeply rooted in childhood memories. The character, originally created in the Franco-Belgian comic tradition, carries a sense of innocence, imagination, and universal charm. For Philippe Lacheau, this project required a complete rethinking of his usual approach. There would be no vulgar language, no excessive violence, and no shock humor. Instead, he had to focus on visual comedy, clever situations, and accessible humor that could be enjoyed by both children and adults. Rather than seeing these restrictions as limitations, Lacheau embraced them as a creative challenge. He understood that adapting Marsupilami meant respecting its spirit while still making the film entertaining for a modern audience. The goal was not to erase his comedic signature, but to transform it. His humor became more playful, relying on timing, facial expressions, and absurd scenarios rather than provocative dialogue. One of the biggest shifts for the director was learning to suggest rather than show. In his previous films, jokes were often direct, loud, and intentionally shocking. With Marsupilami, subtlety became essential. The comedy had to be immediate and visual, drawing inspiration from classic slapstick cinema. Physical gags, exaggerated reactions, and misunderstandings replaced crude jokes, allowing laughter to come from movement and rhythm instead of words. Philippe Lacheau also paid close attention to pacing. A family film demands constant engagement, especially for younger viewers. Scenes needed to move quickly, jokes had to land instantly, and emotional moments had to remain light and optimistic. The director worked carefully to balance action, humor, and adventure so the film never lost momentum. Another key element of this adaptation was the respect shown to the Marsupilami character itself. The creature is not just a comic relief figure, but the heart of the story. Lacheau made sure the Marsupilami remained expressive, lovable, and slightly mischievous, staying true to its origins. Its exaggerated movements and playful behavior became a major source of comedy, often stealing the spotlight without saying a single word. The director also adjusted his work with actors. Instead of relying on punchy dialogue filled with sarcasm or provocation, performances were more expressive and physical. Actors had to convey humor through body language, reactions, and interactions with the animated character. This required a different kind of comedic precision, one rooted in classic cinema traditions rather than modern shock comedy. Behind the scenes, the adaptation process involved close collaboration with visual effects teams. The Marsupilami needed to feel alive, expressive, and seamlessly integrated into the real world. Lacheau worked to ensure that the character's movements matched the tone of the film, energetic, joyful, and occasionally chaotic, but never aggressive or frightening. This was essential to maintaining a tone suitable for all ages. The film also reflects a broader evolution in Philippe Lacheau's career. By stepping outside his comfort zone, he demonstrated his ability to adapt and grow as a filmmaker. Marsupilami allowed him to prove that his talent for comedy does not rely solely on provocation. Instead, it highlighted his understanding of timing, visual storytelling, and audience connection. This shift did not mean abandoning humor altogether. The film is still packed with jokes, playful references, and absurd situations. However, the laughter comes from clever construction rather than shock value. Adults can appreciate the layers of humor, while children enjoy the colorful action and physical comedy. Philippe Lacheau's approach also shows a deep respect for audiences. He understood that a family film carries a responsibility to entertain without offending, to amuse without excluding. By adapting his style, he ensured that Marsupilami could be shared across generations, bringing parents and children together in the same theater. Ultimately, this project represents a successful balancing act. Philippe Lacheau managed to preserve his sense of fun while honoring the legacy of a legendary character. The absence of vulgar language and graphic content did not weaken the film, instead, it strengthened its universal appeal. Marsupilami stands as proof that comedy can evolve without losing its soul. For Philippe Lacheau, this adaptation marks an important milestone, one that shows creativity thrives not only in freedom, but also within boundaries. By embracing those limits, he delivered a joyful, energetic film that respects its roots while remaining unmistakably entertaining.